Arcturian Crystal Blue Angels. Hey, what's going on? Yeah. Hey,
Um,
can I tell you? Will you feel sorry for me for a second? It's cold and freezing. It's 45 fucking degrees outside here.
shut up. It's worse here in Kansas, okay? Straight up and in that
Mm,
motherfucking order. We are like, okay, so we're supposed to have some more fucking snow and rain tomorrow. Excuse
yeah.
me,
Yeah.
snow. It's been under like 2 degrees around here. It's been crazy.
What?
Um, but it's Kansas. If you don't like the weather, wait a minute.
Well, what's your threshold? Because our city's about like your size, and it has to close down at 2 inches of snow, and that's when they have to. But about a half inch in, they're closing shit down.
They close things down here when one snowflake falls.
Oh, do they really? Oh, I
Yeah,
thought maybe they had higher tolerance. People in Scandinavia are like telling me, "What the
no,
fuck?"
I mean it's like as soon as like one snowflake falls, they're like, "Oh my god, everybody run!" But my
Well,
biggest deal is like if you give okay, so the weather people around here, I'll give
yeah,
them one line of if snow's gonna come, give it to the old people, and then they
yeah.
take it to the bullshit table, and that's how that manifests the
Oh,
snow.
you live in one of those towns, don't you? You
Yeah,
got you're back in
so
time.
motherfucking sure,
See,
nigga.
you got stationed back in time, didn't you?
Shut your big whore mouth.
By God. But I know, but that sounds weird. You get that kind of snow there. I mean, what? Well, then that leads me to have to ask you,
only,
what is
only
the
because,
snow
only
ratio?
because, not only that. Listen, Larry. Not only
Yeah.
that. Okay. Um, the bullshit table. You know how they go to the restaurants and what have you with the
Oh
old
yeah.
people.
Oh,
I
it goes
live
on.
next door to the restaurant, the mom and pop restaurant.
Yeah, yeah.
That if you give a little tidbit of information to, they'll be
Oh
like,
shit.
"Oh yes, did you hear this? Did you hear the weather report? Oh my God, they said about 6 inches. I thought I heard 8 inches. No, I heard 12 inches. And by it's all said and done, we have 15 inches on the ground.
I'd have no choice but to fuck with dude. I'd get along great with him, coffee and pie. Man, I'd be telling him, man, I'm hearing this fucking blizzard's coming through. We're supposed to have all kinds of weird shit, a typhoon.
And you
Why
don't
don't you
even
get
know.
that? Why don't you get that
Any,
story going tomorrow?
anyway, how are you, by the way?
I'm good, hun. How are you doing? What's going on lately? So what is up?
Okay, so like I said, I've been through quite the ordeal once again, as I always go through. And excuse me, I'm in my dress gown, but I don't even care. I'm tired, and um, like I said, I've been going through quite the ordeal. I don't even want to go into details, but basically, it's like I told you before, um, just dealing with bullshit. Um, and it's really hard to like separate from the physical to the spiritual. Okay, and
Uh,
then my healing to my um, family life, if that makes sense. You
I
know,
think anybody listening, yeah, I'm sure.
right? So like what I go through personally, and what my son goes through, and that's what I've been dealing with. The majority of the thing is my child, my youngest child, who was gifted to me,
Yeah,
and we've been able to basically, you know, and I thank God at the highest accord that we've been able to separate the wheat from the chaff, if you will. Um,
yeah,
and we've been able to like, do whatever. Cause I told my son, I was like, look, nigga, I was like, I'm doing this right here,
yep,
my own situation of what I know what I'm going through. Okay. But I was like, whatever you're doing, that's you. That's on
yeah.
you. That's your own soul aspect. Okay.
Sure.
I've never gotten into his bullshit or whatever. I was like, but you still are incorporated with me, child.
Yeah,
Okay. That's
absolutely.
all I'm going to say about that. Okay. So, and the biggest thing about the whole situation was, um, I don't like to sit back and see my children suffer. That's not supposed to happen.
Well, that sucks. Yeah,
Okay. Right.
yep,
So as I'm sitting back and going, okay, Father God, what
yep,
have I done wrong? Boo, boo, boo. You know, but I don't want to say that like out loud, but I will. But it wasn't about anything I've done. It was like the mental part.
Yeah.
And I was sitting back and going, okay, Father God, let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I've already
life,
healed. I'm addicted to healing and what have you. And my biggest deal was like, okay, so what else can I heal about this, Father God? I was like, because I know I didn't sign up for this. Because I know that
well,
we create our own reality. I know that we,
yeah, but we
blah,
were
blah,
told what a
blah.
head game. We were told what a head game would be, though, kind of. But I don't think we really listened.
Okay, well, when they talked about head game, okay,
Yeah.
I'm good at that. Pardon
Oh,
me.
yeah. I know how to play them so well, or I used to. Yeah. I
Okay,
know.
but that's a different head game, if you
Yeah, it
will.
is. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Shit.
Absolutely.
Don't fucking play
Absolutely.
with me like that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, but yeah, it is. It's two
I raised
different.
my children. I raised my children in a way different way than anybody else did. Okay.
Right.
And I've apologized to my children. I'm sorry that I wasn't healed when you guys were growing up. I was like, but even still, I was like, I think I have a great track record, Larry. None of my kids drink or smoke.
Mine either. We both do. Look at our kids are all stars. All set. I mean, how many you have? I've got three, and they're all in their 20s. My
I've
youngest.
got three. Yes, I got three. I got 29, 24, and 21.
Okay, we're all in the
4
same
years
boat.
apart.
22. Yeah, 22, 5, and 7. So see, and yeah, I mean, look at us.
Mhm.
Did they learn what not to do? Do you think from us a little bit?
Of course they did. I mean, the biggest deal about it was number one, um, I had three children that I wasn't supposed to have. Number two, I
Mm,
had my third one, I was never supposed to have him.
right.
And I was just telling him just yesterday, I was like, look, nigga.
Yeah.
I was like, I have fucking bent over backwards and done everything of a possible accord and blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Like because the number one universal law in every uh universal here, there,
Yeah.
um this that, and the other thing is you don't abuse your gifts. And my children are my gifts.
Yeah.
Hunter
We
was
talked
Hunter
about
was
that, right?
Hunter
Yeah.
was more right, and Hunter was more of a gift to me than anything. He
Yours
was
is
like
more. I thought I had it, but I was told I wasn't going to have a kids either. I had been jumped and beaten up in a gang fight when I was 14 by about four kids that were like 18, and I was kicked
right.
about 50 times in the groin. And I was told by the doctor, man, you probably won't be able. You might not be able to have kids. I had two biological, and we adopted the little girl. But yeah, and then I talked to
Right.
you, and it sounds like fucking you went through all this shit with all three, or
Yes,
they
I
were,
did
all kids.
with all three with like I
Yeah,
said, with all three of my children. I wasn't even supposed to have my children. I didn't get pregnant with my first one until I was 16. Okay,
yeah,
well 15, 16. And even then it was like I said, I know what the true aspect of um the Mary, Mother Mary having the blessed babies.
right. You mean
And
that
that's what it
article?
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's having like, awesome eggs from Venus.
Yeah, well, that's what it was in a way.
Mhm. Show is. And I mean, there's more to it than that, but I just don't have time to go into it right now.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
I'm
why I wasn't
saying
going to go. I hit it, lit it, and hit it, and back to you.
a word. But my biggest deal is like I said, I have a fucking star seed myself, and he's more than a star seed. He's like stardust of the star command um the nut sack of the blade. God of
Yeah,
war. Going in, he's like, what am I supposed to do with all this nigga shit humanity?
yeah.
Don't tell him
Well,
I said that. Don't tell him I said that.
he's trying to figure it out.
I know. Trust me, I know. This is what I'm like going. This is retarded of the highest accord because number one, I was like, I was introduced to my spirituality unbeknownst to me that I was even supposed to go on a fucking journey anyway. And
Yeah,
then my angels and guides are kicking me in my ass, going, "Bitch, get your shit in gear. We need you." And I'm like, "Okay." And then when my son that I wasn't even supposed to have comes into my life, um, he was born spiritual. And I told him, I said, "Son, you was born spiritual. Now you have to learn how to be human."
yeah. That's a good way to put it. I wish I would have thought of that.
And he's a Taurus too. So I'm like, why,
That's
God?
all.
Why?
Why? Why? Because now my life is infested by Tauruses and Leos. It's all Tauruses on the women's
No.
side, Leos, everybody, everybody.
Right, I know, and I was like, "Why, God? Why did the fuck did you give me this assignment? How
Yeah,
dare you?"
right, right. Yeah, yeah. I know it's
But
crazy. A
but
male
anyway,
Taurus. A
mhm.
male Taurus. I wonder what that's like because all mine are female that have been around me my whole life. All my wife's girlfriend, my
Oh,
mother, my aunts, my
don't
fuck.
even go there because number 1 and 2, 3, whatever, my son shares a birthday with my brother.
Okay, we have a lot of that in my family. Okay.
Mhm. And as soon as when my son was born on my brother's birthday, I was like, "Oh gosh, I'm in
Yeah.
for it."
Yeah, right. But it probably wasn't as bad as you thought, huh?
Oh, shit, shut up. Yes, it
Oh, it was
has
really
been.
bad.
Beyond. It's called double karmic taken care of, and I'm a
Oh.
badass bitch because of it. Of
Yeah. Well, see, so it was it worth it? It was worth it, right? Hell yeah.
course it's worth it. I mean, it's
Yeah.
here's my biggest deal, and this is what I will tell anybody, okay?
Right.
They have the 10 commandments and blah, 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 whatever bullshit. Those don't exist anymore. And then you have your 2 laws, which
Yeah.
is to thine own self be true
Um.
and to love thy neighbor as much as you love yourself, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yes. Yes.
nowadays, I'll tell you this at the highest accord, the
Tell me.
biggest sin or
Yeah.
whatever, or a transgression or whatever is to abuse your gifts.
Oh, I would
Don't
say so. Yeah.
Yeah, don't
Probably.
abuse
Yeah.
if you abuse your gifts, then you're sinning.
Hey, I've had it done to me by chicks reading my mind and shit and telling me what I just bought at the store and all this crap, dude. I'm like, yeah, don't. You didn't ask me
So
permission.
they okay, so I hate I dislike when people say read my mind or reading minds. Do they open up your brain and go, this is what it says? No,
I
sir.
don't. I don't know. I've had it happen. I don't
You
know,
don't
but I
read a
have had
mind.
it
It's
happen.
telepathic.
Mm-hmm.
It's telepathic is what it is. There's
Well,
no
I didn't.
reading minds.
You know what, Ange? I didn't really mind it so much, when a girl do that to me out of the blue and shit like that. I didn't mind it so much. But then when I talk to my other girlfriends who are like my counselors and shit on here and other Starseed women like you, they've straight up told me you shouldn't, you should make them ask permission before they do that and or looking at
Mhm.
and shit at the store. I don't know. What do you think about that? Whatever.
Um, say that again about what? The
Like, I mean,
store?
I've had like girls, like I've had girls read my mind and I've just met or even like who I was married to and tell me what
They
the fuck I bought at the store. They had no idea I was
only
going, you know.
only because they were connecting with you spiritually. There wasn't
No.
reading your mind.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
wasn't tripping
reading.
on
Like I
it.
said, reading your mind would be like, "Come here, Larry. Let me open up your head and go."
Yeah,
"Toot, toot, toot, toot." No,
right.
it's telepathic. It's
Right. Yeah, okay.
telepathy. There's
And I
no
was right.
reading.
I wasn't getting a creepy vibe from it. I was just having other sisters saying, "Well, you
Of
should have asked
course,
him." Yeah, of course, like it
you're my
goes.
sister. You're my sister.
Yeah, yeah,
I had to throw that in there. I don't care.
yeah. No,
Um,
that's good. Go for it. Hey, if the floor is yours, my girl.
well, like I said, and I haven't gotten laid lately, so that's my
Well, me
problem.
neither.
My biggest problem. I'm sorry. I
Been
don't
a while.
care.
Don't be sorry. Fuck,
I
man.
don't give a fuck. I know, but it's like it's not because I'm not wanting to, you
The
know.
energies have been that way, haven't they? I mean, I went forever where like it was fuck. I was done with it, man. I'm spiritually, I'm more involved in it. And then lately, like yeah, I've kind of had some energies like that lately. It's like, man,
I know,
you should get it on. But
right?
well,
There's no
really, I mean,
reason I
hey,
want to.
yeah,
I've just been like, okay, so I've been a hermit,
mm-hmm.
which I'm very good at doing that because I'm a Virgo anyway.
Oh
But
fuck,
so I've been in deep meditation and what have you, because I said because of my child, because one of the biggest things in the whole wide world is I will never do anything until I know that my children will be okay, you
right,
know. And my biggest deal is like I've just been going over my whole fucking spiritual fucking journey from A to Z and yay to Y. Oh, by
yeah,
the way, here, I told you we were going to do this. Look,
yeah.
you see
Let's
that?
look at what. Yeah,
You see that?
I do.
Okay, so this is Yahweh.
Right.
This is the original back in the day when they did hieroglyphics and
Yep.
what have you. Um, and this was the original whatnot for like John 3:16.
Yeah. Is
Mm-hmm.
it real? Oh,
So
is it really? Okay. Yeah. That I had. You mean that sign? I have to see it every football game that I've ever watched in my entire life.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
John. Okay, let me tell you the story. Okay, so this is Yahweh, like I said, um, YHWH, and it means the original meaning is I will protect him because he knows my name. Okay. That was the very beginning back in the day.
Right.
Okay. And then they took this and then they churched it up with John 3:16. Okay.
Oh, is that
And
how?
also,
Oh, good to know. Thank you. But good. Sorry to interrupt. Good to know that I didn't know the story. Okay.
oh,
Really?
okay, right, right. I know a lot of people don't. Okay. So, and this is what I'm saying. I was like, so they churched it up because they didn't understand the truth. And if you look at it, okay, it's a, like hieroglyphics, like somebody, etching it on.
It
And
is.
this is
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
and
Totally. Look at it.
it's the original aspects. And I know you can't see it, but there's a key and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a lock.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I see that. I remember, hon, when you were going to get
Mhm.
that because look, some Pleiadian girl got the stars on her back at Shutter getting them tattooed, and I thought, you know what? I wasn't
Mhm.
trying to be a perv, but I thought that was pretty fucking hot, and that's pretty
Well,
cool.
I was gonna get Elohim, and I'm still gonna get it on this side, but God's
Yeah.
like, go ahead and go get this first.
Mhm, mhm.
He was like, go ahead, and he's like, show the true aspect of it, and that's the whole reason why I did. And I was like, I had like so many things come up, and I kept going through it, and I was like, no, that's not it. No, that's not it. And then when I came across these, I mean, it was like boom. I was like, here it is. And this is the
There it is.
original etchings. And this is what it means. I will protect him because he knows my name. And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
here comes, the white dude. And they churched it up with John 3:16. For God so loved the
Mhm.
world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, have everlasting life.
Yeah, I like how
Thank you,
you touched
Father
on that
God.
real quick. I like how you touched
Like,
on the white guy real quick because that's what it was, a bunch of white bullshit influence. But yeah, I'd go
yeah.
on from here. But you got it. You
And
hit it.
you remember I'm a fucking true legit fucking Pentecostal religious girl.
How
Okay?
lucky can
And I
boy, how
don't say
lucky
that
can you get?
lightly.
Yeah, how lucky can you get? Wow.
Right? Word. And my grandparents, which my grandfather was a fucking he was an evangelist,
Oh,
okay?
well, good luck
And we had
to
our
you.
own church growing up,
Oh,
Pentecostal, mind you, and we lived by John 3:16, mind
wow.
you. Okay? And my
Um,
grandfather even backs me up in the spiritual because he's
yeah,
like, "You're right, girl," because he didn't know any better when he was here. He just
right.
was taught, but he still had that inner guidance and what
I have
have
known
you.
people like that. Right. You're right. It's
Mhm.
just they're a problem, and now he knows better, and he did then. But where was he to turn to even know? He
Right.
wasn't his
Mhm.
fault.
Oh, if it wasn't for my grandfather, I would not know anything right now.
Right.
Thank you,
Right.
Father God.
See, he was an OG. He just didn't know it.
He was a badass OG
I'm sure.
beyond. My
Yeah.
grandparents, I love them very much, and they're actually one of my two of my biggest supporters on the spiritual realm.
I bet they were
And
fun to go stay the
and
night
they
with.
just
I
said,
mean,
"Yes,
yeah.
girl, we are."
Yeah. Oh, I bet they were cool as hell. Yeah. I mean, they were ahead of their time, really, and they just didn't know it, because there was
Yes,
nothing to
I know.
guide it by.
And it's funny because I'll tell you this much: me being spiritual now and knowing way more than I ever thought I would ever know, and then back then I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been vetted since day one.
You
I
have
have
been.
been, I have been, it doesn't matter what I didn't know or know, whatever. It, regardless, everything happens for a reason. And now, in hindsight, I'm like, it don't matter. I was born into this. I was DNA coded for this.
You were. You were.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick though, just real quick. Yeah,
Yes,
hey everybody in the
dear.
chat room.
What?
Yeah, good. Do that while you take that like real quick. Hey everybody in the chat room, I hear you, I see you. I just don't have.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, hi guys. Yes, Tria. Okay, I know we have a Trump. Yeah, okay,
Oh, I forgot.
cool.
Oh, don't get me started on Trump, Trump,
Right,
Trump.
no. This should just gentlemen select them. Yes. We know. Okay, cool, guys. We love you all. Thank you. Anyway,
I
back
just
to you.
realized there was a chat. I forgot about that. Hi,
Back to,
guys.
back to you in Kansas, there, Angelique.
Oh, it's boring here.
Oh fuck.
I've
Well, it
really
is
been
Oregon
bored,
too.
honestly.
Huh?
Okay, I'll tell you this much. Okay,
Yeah.
so um, in lieu of dealing with my son's uh existence, I guess you could say, or coming into the world and going, what am I supposed to do with
Right.
it? Anyway, long story short, so I fucking finally filed my taxes this year. And I'm gonna put my business in a different aspect.
Right.
So I'm like literally like establishing my estate. So
You're gonna try to get it to be like an LLC or something like that, or like a limited
I'm going
liability.
to the next level. I've been a
Yeah.
sole proprietor for a very long time. I've ran my business since 2014 is when I officially got my name. Angels is my
Oh,
business name, by the way. Yep.
I didn't know that. How quaint. We need to get that out more.
Angels is my business name, and
Yeah.
it's spelled Angel apostrophe Angels apostrophe.
I love it. We're gonna have to put it in the in the description to the show, and you'll have to type it again to me what you just said.
It's very original. Angels is my business name. Um,
I
and
got
like I
the
said,
idea.
I've just been I've been on the computer and researching more than I've ever have. Oh my god, it's stupid.
Like
But
about what?
Investopedia is my new best friend.
Oh God, you look at you getting all fucking big. Are you gonna be we're gonna get you on Wall Street before it's all said and done.
Girl, shh,
I know.
hush. Okay.
I'm giving away your
Never you
secret. I know.
mind. Never you mind, Larry, because number one, I'm
Uh,
already fucking intelligent as it is.
yeah.
Okay.
Well.
And number
Yeah.
two, Google, I'm older than Google.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Well,
as
that's
soon as
true.
I started fucking Googling more,
Yeah.
that's why the Matrix is fucking failing. That's why the Matrix is going
Why do you? Yeah. Let's touch on that. I know you didn't want to go long. Let's touch on that Matrix thing. What do you say that for? Yes, as in what I think it is too, but why? What is your thought?
um, I'll tell you this and I'll tell you exactly why, straight up in this motherfucking order, okay?
Yeah.
Um, I'm older than Google.
Well, no, honey, I gotta say, interrupt you there. We know this, and I sure as hell, if you are not older than Google, honey, you don't look as young as I always claim you look.
I
Google
know,
is,
but I'm 45. Okay. Okay. So
you
I
know,
remember when Google came out and
yeah, I
blah,
do
blah, blah.
too.
Okay.
You were
Let me
20.
put it this way. All right. Let me just start with this. As soon as I started Googling shit, they
Yeah.
knew that the world was about to come to something.
Well, they tried to fuck it up. What we should have had was a thing called quantum computing. The Pleiadians were talking about
Or
the other night, and I did a talk on it
I
because it was the
know.
internet. It was the way the internet was supposed to fucking be to hook people up,
Yes.
but it
Right.
still did
Okay.
it overloaded. And we still got together though.
Okay. So my favorite thing to do is fuck up AI. Okay.
Yeah, I
So
see. And then I love if you and I were handling AI, it would be perfect, wouldn't it? But we'll go there another time. You're right. Fuck up their
well, I
AI.
know. That's what I'm saying. I was like, as soon as I started like on my phone, I started like Googling different things about this is my eye mask, by the way, when I
Mhm.
sleep with.
How can
uh,
you? I don't like the light either. How can you Can you put up with one of those over your eyes all night? Obviously,
oh
I can't
God, yeah.
do it. I'm sensitive to being touched or fucked with. It's
This,
my pleading
yeah.
autism. I mean, yeah.
This is how I sleep.
No, okay, but you better turn those lights
I
out.
have to have an eye mask on my eyes,
And you
and
know what?
it protects
If you
my dreams too.
if you and I were partners, you better not be keeping that fucking TV on at night because I don't sleep with a motherfucking.
I don't watch television,
Well,
Larry.
no, I know, but even the internet or something, I meant like you
No,
don't
I
have to
don't.
have some shit on, do you?
Listen to me, no, I don't have any of that. The only time I have my computer and what have you, but when I go to Okay, listen to me.
Yep.
I do everything in my bedroom, on my bed, and blah blah blah. Okay, but when I go
Right.
to bed, I take my computer and I put it off to the side. I take everything off my bed except for my animals.
And your 25 pillows, like I have. Yeah.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
I mean,
And then that's what I do.
hey,
I have 25 pillows and I
yeah.
cushion myself because regardless if I'm a hermit or not, I know the difference between um doing this and doing that. So
Well,
um
I figured that. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so but regardless of the fact, let's get back to Google.
Well, go to back
Um
to what you did to Google. Yeah. Sorry.
okay, so like I said, I never used Google because I know how to connect with the divine. I know how to go, hey, ancestors, can I get an answer to my question? And they'll
Yep.
give it to me. Okay, so
Sure.
I've never had to use Google. All right, I've always had the answer, if you will. And so when I started actually using Google for, understanding like business aspects or about this, that, and the other thing, okay, that's when the matrix really started fucking up. And I will say to the highest accord, I
Can
know
you run
for a
that
fact.
back again? I'm sorry. Can you run that back one more? Hit me with that one more time. When did it start? Sorry.
Okay, so when I started
Give me a
Googling
year. Give me a
stuff
year.
about my, when I started Googling
Okay.
stuff about my business and learning things about my stocks and trading and I mean, a whole bunch of shit. When I
Mm-hmm.
started
Mm-hmm.
actually Googling the terms and what actually this, that, and the other thing meant, that's when the matrix really started fucking up.
Why? Because they
Because
started showing you.
I've never had to Google anything
Right.
before.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I've always been like, I would always like go into meditation or I would just ask spirit, I'm like, Spirit, what's the answer? Or can you help me with this? All right. I've never had to do any of that shit. I've
Right.
always
Right.
known. Okay.
Yeah. You
So
probably
like,
always know most shit, though. I mean, did you really have to go to it much? You probably already intuitively knew most of this shit, right? Am I
yes,
right?
I'm very intuitive,
Yeah.
highly. I'm more connected than
You'll just get
you understand.
validation from spirit. You just want spirit to sometimes give you, like I do, right? Is that, your guides to give you just a little, that you're all right. I know what you mean by asking them, but you probably already kind of know.
We argue all the time. It doesn't matter.
I do too with them sometimes. Not like you do, though. You probably really get into it with them. I just, whatever they say.
Well, of course I do. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was like, that's my whole point with me telling you about when I started using Google full time.
Yeah, isn't it weird though? Like I've only had a couple arguments with them, but mainly like I mean, whatever they say, that's their thing, and they know whatever I think is different. If it's different, that's my thing. And but you'd probably be like, look, fuckers, I'm not sure I get this.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but like I said, I want to tell you this much: Google's going to go down because
Oh,
Google
sure,
has
it's all gonna fit
been.
together.
Well, the reason why is because um, Google has been AI'd up for a long time, way before people understood it. Okay, that's why the title to my first book was "The Real Story Behind the First Byte," BYTE.
You
That's the
know what?
title to my first book.
That's going to be something. And you know what? I need to have you talk with one person one time because I need you to indulge me for a second. You know what he said to me one time? Dude, this guy, Mr. X, I've done shows, old friend. He said to me with what you're talking about, he said,
Mhm.
man, you know what I think's going to happen? He says, I think they're all just going to crash together and they can't control it anymore. They're not going to be able to handle it. It's all just
Yeah.
going to, that you could articulate it better. But does that resonate at all as far as when they go down?
Sort of, kind of, but
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not a big technology person. I cannot
Okay.
stand technology. It
Right. Okay.
overpowers me, but I
Mhm.
don't let it overpower my being,
I'm
if you will.
surprised you don't break a lot of it. I'm surprised it doesn't fuck up around you because of your power. I'm
It
surprised.
does all
Okay,
the
like I'm
time.
surprised you don't break
All the
shit.
time. When I go to the store and I run my credit card or my debit card, I never know if it's going to go through or not because it fucks up the system.
Is it
I'm a
bad?
very
Really?
I'm very higher being,
Very,
much
very.
so.
Because I've known a lot of my Pleiadian sisters will do that to gadgets and shit, but I don't think they've ever quite had that happen. What you're talking about?
Oh, you don't even know. Oh my God. I've literally like showed
Wow.
somebody, I'm like, look, this is my bank account. Look how much money's in it. and my
Mhm.
bank card saying decline, decline. And she's like, I don't get that. I was like, look, it's real
Right.
time. And I would show it to him and it would still decline.
And did you ever try running credit even for the hell of it? Just hit the credit. You guys have that option. Okay, see, we have, you
Like I
could have.
said, I don't even want to go there. It's
Okay, that
retarded
did.
at the highest accord.
Yeah.
And like I said, like I told
Absolutely.
you, with the whole aspect with Google, okay,
Yeah.
and Google's been around since, like I said, I'm older than Google. I'm 45 years old.
Honey, you're 20
So
years old. Let's get that out there. I got it. She's driving nuts here with the one. I love my sister. It came out in 95, sweetie. Okay, go ahead. You got the floor. You were 20 when it came out. So, okay. And it's infinite
it
stages.
doesn't matter. I'm still older than it because I've never used it until now.
Oh, yeah, I get what you're
That's
saying
the
now. Okay,
difference.
yeah, that is, yeah. Okay, so
I
you
didn't
haven't
have to
been
go,
using it.
"Hey, Google, what's da 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 da," or
Well,
"Hey,
I know,
Google,
but
da 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 da." I did not fucking utilize Google until just recently.
okay, you never wanted to know like a song. I would use it for shit like, oh, when a song came out a year, but I never asked it any
I
spiritual
mean,
shit.
I used it here and there,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah, okay,
blah,
okay.
blah,
Yeah,
blah, sure,
yeah,
but I'm
right.
talking like
Ask yes. I just want
thank
to
you.
clarify because
Right,
we're
that's what I'm
we're
saying.
precise here.
My whole point is, like, when I really started, like, utilizing Google, like going, what's dot 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 dot, or what's this mean, or dot 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 dot, you
Hmm.
know, and I really started using it, and I've only started using it for the past year and a half.
Oh Jesus Christ! Then you're way behind. Okay, then you're doing
I
great. Oh,
know.
that's what you mean. So so you're saying this? You've hit and lit and get it all that shit like in a year already? Just a year? I mean, seriously, you're learning. I bet you learned how to do the stock market shit. You're about ready to. Isn't it crazy? I know.
Yes, it is because they've already fucking tried to fucking take my shit from me. Because I'm going to tell you, Mr. Larry,
Yeah.
um, and this is
Don't
one
twist
of the
my
reasons
name.
why I started doing this shit is because my identity got stolen. Okay, and everything,
Oh,
and I've invested everything blindly, okay, not
right.
knowing what I'm doing. I just got, like, a little
Trusting
tidbit
the
of
process.
information. Yeah, I just got a little tidbit of information from Spirit, and I went,
Mhm.
"Okay, I'm investing." And anytime I get any extra money, I invested it, okay, regardless. Especially since my children were raised and everything else, and so I didn't have to spend that extra money on blah blah blah. So I've invested blindly for the past 7 years.
You don't sound like
But
somebody who brags about it or talks about it typically. I mean,
I
you're
know.
telling us that you don't sit there and this isn't something the only audience, yeah, the audience probably knows. Is that it? I mean, you don't go around really to advertising that shit at all. You don't come across as flashing
No,
yourself like that. You know what I
I
mean?
don't know.
I mean, you don't, you're not
What am I
hiding,
gonna
but
flash? What am I gonna
well, no,
flash? I have nothing
I
to
mean, you
flash
don't, you
except
don't
for my
really
boobies.
You don't brag really about your skills though online in a boat. I mean, you're fun to have on, but you
No,
don't
I
really
don't
talk about shit or smack like you
I don't
could.
I don't know how to do any of that because, like I said, I don't know how to understand my own blind, uh, nil, if you will. Blind if you ever played spades? You ever gone
Uh,
blind nil?
no, I've been beat by a cousin who's always
Okay,
wanted
so if
to
you
have
know
to be
anybody
taught.
that's been in prison or anybody that
Oh
plays the
yeah,
game of spades.
well yes, lots of
Okay,
gangbangers.
so
Prison, yeah, big time. Okay, go ahead.
okay,
Yeah,
so if you're playing spades, okay,
yeah,
it's called blind nil, which is you don't
right.
look at anything and you're just knowing that you'll go straight for the
Mm,
whatever.
have to
Okay,
name.
and that's kind of what I've done. And um regardless of that situation, um, every time I've done that, somebody's come in and ripped the rug out from underneath me.
Yeah.
Like, I'll tell
Well,
you, for instance,
sure.
like,
I'm sure that's the odds, huh?
yeah, and that's what I've been dealing with is because, you know, like, I own my own home. I pay
Right.
cash for it. Okay.
We found out how you.
Um,
Go ahead.
I have stocks and everything else, and they all got sold out from underneath me. I even
Dog,
had an
dude.
oil stock because somebody stole my identity and they didn't
Somebody
know
was
what
really, they stole your identity. I thought maybe somebody did some insider trading. They must have really what? That's
You don't
scary.
even want to know. And I'm not even going to go there right now,
No,
Larry, because
no,
it's
nope.
deeper and weirder than you
And you
understand
might, and
because
I would hold on to that. Don't really go into it. I wouldn't let
I
you.
won't. I'll tell you why, because it has to do with my son too. Okay.
Well,
They was not expecting that a mother and son were going to cross paths in the same time period as this, that, and the other thing. Mm,
no, really, that's a wow. That's a trip. I've never heard it
that's
quite
what
put
we've been
that way.
dealing with. My
Yeah.
son has more information about this, that, and the other thing, and I'm not going to go into details about it,
Well, you're not
whatever.
going to tell us what this, that, and the other thing is. Okay, good.
And that's what we've been going through
Oh,
because they're trying to with the information my son has, it's something he invented.
how long has this been going on though in its infancy? Would you be able to tell that? I mean, how about? I mean, how long in the?
Um, I don't
Uh,
know because,
yeah,
like I said,
you don't know when they started. You wouldn't have known.
the details of everything that's going on. Number one, like I said, it's something my son invented.
Yeah, by the time you knew, they already knew. You know, they know for a while
Mhm.
before they.
They
Yeah.
tried to kill my son over this shit.
Are you serious?
Yes. What do you think
Wow.
we've been dealing with? He got hit by a fucking a truck a year ago
Did that
on the
happen with
highway here.
children?
They
Yeah,
tried to
dude.
kill my son for this shit, and that's why I'm saying I won't go into details, but I will say that out loud because, like I said, I've been going through some bullshit because I didn't even know anything about it.
You
That's
didn't
my
even know
child.
you were.
That's his
Oh,
own shit. I'm saying that's my own
yeah,
son stuff. That's his
right.
own creation, and I've
Yeah.
always let my children walk their own paths.
Well, yeah,
I'm
but
just
you got
here.
to be there for them. Yeah, I know,
Of
but you got.
course, and that's my whole point. I've been there for my kids.
Yeah, right. That's
But I didn't
exactly. I
know
mean,
this was all going on. I was like, "What?"
yeah. Oh, I
As my
bet.
son's sharing with me, as my son's sharing with me, because like I said, my
Really.
son worked for 3.5 years of his own accord at a job
Yeah.
of his own, from the time he was fucking 15 years old.
Right.
Okay. Okay. And then, like I said, they're trying to fuck with us. That's all I got to say. And we
Yeah.
ain't putting up with it
Yeah. Have
because,
you thought on another note to kind of not to really have when you get like you're dealing with the stocks and all your stuff and right you got your shit together now. Now, do you think
Mhm.
that at some point when things they will do, honey, they will look up totally for you. Would you move if you like if it was say it was no thing financially for you and the kids could all come with you and shit like that? Would you get out of that region? Would you think about it? I don't need you to like tell me, but
Are
would you
you
think?
kidding me? Why do you think I'm pissed off right now? Because I'm supposed to be already out of here by now.
Yeah, I know. Well, honey, I wasn't gonna try to bring you down anymore about
Shut
damn,
up.
on the
Shut
Midwest.
up.
And,
Larry, no.
okay, no, we're not
Listen,
going to
we're only
Oklahoma.
speaking the truth. Like I said, number one, that's one of the whole reasons why I've done what I've done because I don't want to be here in Kansas anymore.
No, and I know you want, and I
I
think
don't want, I
it would do
am
you
waiting.
time
I
wonders
am
to get the hell
so
out of
far, I am so far beyond evolved from this place.
Dude, he would thrive in
It's
Oregon.
it's not even funny. But however, I know that I'm the Newman here.
I know it. That's true. You are.
Do you know what the Newman is?
Well, no, but I mean, what I meant to say is no. I was going to have you explain to me, but no, you're meant to be there. I do know that, but
I
you're going to
know.
tell me why. Yeah,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look up the meaning of Newman. Google
okay,
it right now and
right
read it
now.
online.
Right now, it's
Yeah.
going to take me. I got my other phone on. You want me to Google Newman and not? Yeah, I know, and I'm going to
Yep.
probably get. I'm probably get. Hold on, I'm probably going to get Paul Newman and all that bullshit.
You
Okay,
got it.
so what if I get Paul Newman? I've got it.
Numen.
Numen. Oh, I was going to spell it. Yeah,
Newman.
I got it. Okay. Yep, I'm googling it now. Search with Google.
Read it out loud.
It's coming around. Newman Spotify. No. Hold on. It went to fucking YouTube. No. I want it on Google. Oh, for fuck's sake. I never have. Oh, there it goes. Okay, hold on. Hold on. If you give me 5 seconds, it should be there. How come all this shit takes forever? Do we freak out? Okay, check it.
What's
I
that?
got it. Hey, hold up. I got it. Would you like to know the AI overview description of it? It is a Latin word that means divinity, divine presence, or divine will. It can also refer to a deity or a spiritual force of influence. Boy, that sounds so. Boy, that sounds familiar.
Word.
Yo, yo. Why does that ring a bell and resonate at all right
When
now with
when
me?
when I was given that word to myself from spirit, I was walking around downtown here in Osage where I live, and I had just broken up with somebody. So when I kept hearing new man, I was like, new man? I don't want a new man. I just broke up with this nigga. And this was a couple years back.
Well,
And I was like, new man, new man. I was like, what do you mean? And it just kept hitting me, new man, new man. So, and I was
oh,
thinking,
Newman, not
mhm,
Newman. Okay.
yeah, it kept hitting me. I was like, new man. And
Yeah,
then I was thinking, Seinfeld too,
not
Newman.
Newman. Yes, yes.
Because I didn't understand what
Right,
spirit was giving to me. So
right.
I went home, and that was probably the first time that I Googled Newman, and I put in
Mhm,
Newman. And of course,
mhm.
it came up, different aspects, but then I scrolled down to the bottom, and that's how I came across the Numen, the Newman. And I was like, whoa.
Would
Father
you?
God, I was blessed. I was blessed at the highest accord when it finally hit me
Right.
what spirit
Mhm.
was telling me.
Can I tell everybody
Okay.
one last time what it is, real quick, real quick? Newman is a Latin word that means divinity, a divine presence, or a divine will. It can also refer to a deity or a spiritual force of influence. Okay, there we go.
In an area,
In an area.
in a spectrum
Right. Really?
around
Wow.
it.
Wow. Like what kind of a spectrum? What does it look like? Is it light filled?
Well, is what the one that I know it of, the one I seen it was a spiritual force or aspect that surrounds a um area or
Okay, I get you. No, I get you. Honestly, yeah, I had
Mhm.
to finish it out there, but I get what you're kind of saying. I can
the
see it. I
spiritual
couldn't.
consciousness the spiritual
Yeah,
consciousness that controls
that
an
central
area
consciousness.
or what have
Yeah,
you.
that central consciousness of what? Well,
Hmm.
I call it the
Hmm.
Pleiades, but yes, the central
Right.
consciousness, of the
Okay.
Milky Way.
So when I was given that, and when it finally hit me like
Yeah.
that, I was so humbled. I was so I didn't know what to think. I was like, whoa,
Well,
that
you went
new.
from this religious. Did you go right from then into this religious doctrine into like what? So had your opinions already changed though before you started doing all this shit like that? I mean, were you able to see like
I
you could
mean,
see what?
I've been on my spiritual journey for knowingly for 7 years,
Okay,
but
so you're a veteran at the game now. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I was like, now I'm
Yeah.
just like, I was like, niggas, can we speed it up now, please? I'm tired
Well,
of.
look, I know a girl that's about all of them are at least that long. What you're saying, but I know one who is way up there, and she's like fucking 3 years. And she's been in it like four now, and I'm like, are you serious? Yeah. So that there is like, you'll find one enigma out there, but man, it doesn't really matter, man. The journey is the journey,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you're
it
at a
is.
place right now where you're ready to kick it into a third or fourth or fifth or seventh gear.
Well,
You know.
yeah, and I've known that for a long time, and my biggest deal is like, I'll tell you this much: I'm addicted to healing. I'm a healer. I know I'm
Mm-hmm.
a shaman. I'm a shamama. Okay, and
Samantha,
that's on this
Samantha,
plane of existence. I am an Indian healer. I mean, I am spirit. I am of great spirit, and that's my earthly being. Okay, that's
yeah,
what I was granted in my soulful evolution of who I am now as a soul incarnated in this body, this wonderful
yeah.
body that I have. That's who I am now.
I
Okay.
see you also maybe writing another book. This will be crazy. Like after you've had a couple, you might even write one that's something like that. What that title? You said you're the shamanka at the end of the road. Could you imagine someday you have to write that as a
I'm
cute
a
little book?
shaman at the end of the at the end
Dominant.
of
After you have a
town.
couple
At
big
the end
hit
of
books,
town.
Yeah, you would, you know what you would do is I'd tell you to do. I'd say, don't use that name. Find some fucking fictitious town somewhere else. Put it in fucking Idaho, okay? And seriously, and we'll I'll
Well,
pretend we're your
here's the
boys.
biggest deal. Okay, here's the biggest deal is like number one, ain't nobody ever seen a shaman like myself. Okay.
No, but I had the best one I've had the best female one that's ever existed in these groups. Her name was Natalie Alay, and she's done 30 or so shows for me. And she was a
Yeah.
shaman, right? So now I know you. So I've known two ones I've run into are killer. Yeah, you're great at it. And I'm
Yeah.
sure if it was your thing, see, it was her thing, right? Let time you got other shit going on. And
Yeah,
right,
I
but I
do.
mean,
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
But and
you're
that's
good
my
at
whole point was like, okay, so how can I incorporate everything that I have going on with what I have going on?
Right, she'd be good for you to learn from for just a second. Not that you don't know just as much, if not more than her, but you should like how to organize it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
so I feel privileged. I've met the two best ones. The
Mhm.
two ones I've met, you'd be killer at it as her. If you had the time to just do it, dude,
My
this bitch could predict anything almost.
Oh god,
Within
yeah, I would
within
love to meet with
reason,
I would love to
within
go toe to
reason.
toe with anybody because number 1,
Yeah.
I do not get a lot of intellectual conversation or
Oh yeah.
um, I do not get a lot of intellectual beings that I can have a toe to
She'd
toe
be,
conversation with.
she'd
I
be,
can,
she'd be, she'd
just
be standing
whatever
for
with.
you to
It's
come to
very
the
few and far between. My son and I, we're the only ones that, and even still, that's a challenge as well because
Yeah, man, she'd be
he's still
inviting your
veiled
ass
as it
over to
is.
Ireland. Yeah, you and her would have hit it up. She would have been inviting your ass over to Ireland. She's an American girl, but she's lived there like 20
Mhm.
years, and but she'd be inviting you over to Ireland. Yeah, it'd be a good. Yeah, exactly. And here's a funny story I had to share about her. In the '90s, remember when we were inundated with those lovely late night psychic commercials for $4 a minute?
Miss
Yeah,
Cleo,
yeah, I bet Kenny Kingston and the fucking Dionne Warwick psychic principal,
Dionne
dude,
Warwick,
they offered
yo.
her a job, dude. She had a bachelor's degree. They offered her a
Oh,
fucking job.
yeah.
Yeah, they offered her a job, one of those networks, right? And this is what ended up
Mhm.
happening. They flew her somewhere, and what really tripped her out about the whole thing was that they didn't ask for her any references. She had all these, and they didn't ask for her. They didn't want to do a background check on her, and this was for making good money doing these.
Who
She's
was
like, "What
this?
the fuck? You don't." Oh, this Natalie I'm telling you about that did all the shows for me. The other Shamanka that I've said the only one I ever met to be on your level. She is great.
Right.
But she did it for a living, and she was a psychic too. And yeah, she was wondering why the psychic network would do that. It was so she knew what a fraud it was, right? Even I mean,
Mhm.
of course, going into it, but it was such a fraud she couldn't work for them because she's
I
like, they
knew
don't
I
want
knew it was a fraud when I was a kid,
you.
and I watched Miss Cleo quite a bit,
Oh, you
because
called me, I
she
suppose.
came on late night, and I knew she had a very great gift, but she was exploited because that was, like, the
Hmm.
time that
Hmm.
because, she had a
Hmm.
very wonderful gift, but it was coming out on TV and
They
what
had to
have
get
you.
paid, yo.
And I'm one to admit it, I actually called the psychic lines myself, and back then, it was like, okay, so when I got they're like, "Call me now, and you get a dollar ninety
Funny.
nine, or you get the 5 first minutes free, and then
Oh
it's
yeah.
like a dollar 99 a minute after that." But if you
I wish I would have had you on the other night because I was giving the numbers out. Like, man, the kids would call, dude. You could get your phone bill, dude.
okay,
Yeah, so you
listen,
knew. Listen to this, people.
listen.
Listen, give it to me.
Right, okay, so I'm gonna tell you what happened, okay? This is Lord, Father God. Alright, so
Please, I'm doing the Hail
back in
Mary.
the day, so when that first came out, and I'm calling the psychic hotline, and I'm trying to, like,
God,
dot, dot,
help.
dot, whatever,
Yeah.
and so when I get my phone bill,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like 400 and some odd dollars.
Have I got something for you? You know what my promo was, and I said this on air several times. You know what? I called my psychic. I called my psychic, and they said I was going to get a big phone bill, and then it showed me a second
Well,
later looking over this bill. Oh, boy, were they
right.
right?
Okay, so the thing was, you got the first 5 minutes free, and then it was like a dollar 99 a minute or whatever after that.
And then it
Anyway,
went up
so this is
every
what I
year. Yeah.
did, and I was ashamed at the time, but I'm not anymore. But, okay, so at the time, I was like, "Oh, shit." So I would call up my phone company, Southwestern Bell, and I'd be like, "I don't know where these charges came from.
Oh,
I'm
you
a Christian
badass
woman. I would
gangster.
never call a psychic hotline."
Oh, I was about ready to give you the one ass chew and ever in your life, and you just redeemed yourself. Let me get
That's
you got away with it.
that's
You
how
got
I
away
got.
with it.
That's how I got my bill.
How many times
And
did you get away with it?
I admit that is the highest accord. Okay,
How many
okay.
times did
I
you get
was
away with it? We want to know.
I don't I just told him, I argued with him. I was like, look, I'm a Christian woman. I would never call a
Yeah.
psychic.
No, fuck that dude's wrestling line or some shit. Dude, have some kids stay overnight. Hey, remember? Hey, listen. I know you don't like pro wrestling, but they'd be like, and the shit's fake. Oh man, call and find out what's going on in this feud, and oh man, and they keep you under 10. Dude, I
No,
knew this kid was call.
I
Oh,
know,
dude,
but now I laugh so hard about it because
yes.
now I know better now. But that's how I got out of like
Dude, I
five
was a
hundred
wrestling
dollars
fan. I was tempted. I gotta be like, never.
from
Yeah, dude.
talking to the psychic, because I'd call the phone company up and I'm like, I don't know how this charge just got on my phone bill. I would never do that. I'm a Christian woman.
You know what we can think another thing, babe, the internet for on that another thing seriously though. Like, okay, so those wrestling and especially the psychic lines like that shit, dude,
Yeah.
that went away when the internet came out because even though they charged something on the internet, you could find shit on the internet. You could get hooked up with that info
Right.
kind of, right? You get what I'm kind of getting at eventually.
Of
And so
course.
yeah, because that's what the whole I know that's part of your point you're making. Yeah, duh, Larry.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, and I'll tell you this much. Okay, so okay, so I was cleaning up my credit and going through all my shit because I got my identity stolen. So I was
Yeah, you
disputing a
mentioned
lot
that.
of stuff that was on my credit report.
How
Okay.
lucky? Can I just say how lucky can you get real quick? But go ahead.
Anyway, so let me tell you something. Okay,
Yeah,
so for me disputing everything on my credit report and
wait,
blah blah blah.
yeah.
Okay, so if you know anything about creditors and blah blah blah, whatever.
Oh,
Okay, so this one creditor,
right.
okay, I don't know how they did this. I don't know where it came from, but
Oh
they
God, here it
fucking
comes.
pulled up one of my bills from back in 1998.
When was this? Was this how long ago was this? They pulled this up.
Just recently, I just got it in the mail, like not even 2 months
What,
ago.
dude? It's two
And they
thousand
sent
and
me the bill, and I'm
motherfucking.
like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" No, listen, Larry. I was like, this is how I know these niggas are fucking whatever. All right. I was like, wait a minute. How in the world did you dig this? It was not. And this is funny that we're doing it because it was from. Listen, it was from Southwestern Bell
Do they still exist?
Telephone
Yeah, do they even exist
Company
anymore?
in 1998. I
Yeah,
just
I don't think
graduated from high school. Okay.
somebody
And
bought those. Somebody bought those. Did those delinquent accounts? And I did that. Don't do they even exist
listen to
anymore?
me.
Yeah,
This is what pissed me off because I know a lot about this, that, and the other thing. So
yeah.
I'm like, how in the world did you even dig this up? Number one, Southwestern Bell doesn't even exist anymore.
Well, got
Number
that. You
two,
know where you're
number
going.
two,
Go ahead.
this bill is so old. How in the world did you even
They bought.
come across it digitally?
They bought it. They bought it at such a dog eat dog world now in easy technology. Some junior
There's,
flunky got
I
and
don't
grabbed
even
that
know. I
shit
was
and
like, there's no
screenshot
way
it.
they could have pulled it. I have no idea. It was a phone bill I had back in 1998.
Honey,
And it
that was
was
the downset of the computer age, though. I know. I get
not
what you
only
mean.
before that, not only
Oh,
that, it was in my original Angela Morris, which I went by
oh,
Angela back in the day
right. Okay.
because nobody liked Angelique, and it was Morris, which is my maiden name.
That's
So I'm
fucking
like,
weird.
how in the world did you guys come up with this fucking bill and send it to me?
With that, yeah, that now I'm telling you, I was just playing devil's advocate. That is fucking really weird, girl. That is
I know
really
it
weird on
was.
so many fucking
I
levels,
know.
dude.
No, I'm not saying I didn't owe it.
Right?
Okay,
No, I
but
get
that
you.
was like
No, but
way back
still,
in
the
the
timing
day.
and yeah, dude, that's really
I wasn't even
yeah.
married to my first husband
Okay.
yet.
You said check this shit out. So you said they sent it a couple months ago. Maybe what it was right. They did find it, and it was like they had 17. Maybe New Year's Eve at
No,
24 was the last second. I know I've given you shit. How,
no.
I'm still hooked on that. How in the how right in that name?
That's what I want to know. Because
Yeah.
it's well,
Well,
put it this way. Okay, let me
how much?
reiterate
Jesus
this.
Christ! I mean, I'm not asking you to give up, but
This
how
is
much
a
do you owe?
collection
Fuck.
company. This is a collection company,
Yeah.
okay? And this collection company wasn't even in existence when I got
And
this bill.
Northwestern Bell is out of business. Some conglomerates, okay, so I'm going to piece this kind of together for you, and it's still fucked. Some conglomerate fucking bought out them, and they got a hold of the records. And because of the night, I mean, because shit was easier kept on file, some junior flunky probably, you got, first of all this bad shit would have had to happen, and it could have. You could have just got unlucky, and it was
Larry,
fantastic.
Larry,
And then they
this
figured it out and went, yeah, go ahead.
this this collection company wasn't even in existence when this
And
bill happened.
honey, they could
That's what
be a
I don't
side company.
understand.
Honey, they could be a, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a business thing. They could be a conglomerate. Help me, somebody in the room. They could be a
I don't give
conglomerate,
a
a
fuck.
subsidiary
I
of
don't
an
give a fuck.
LLC of them.
Okay,
But how they get the name
let
and
me tell you.
how much
Okay,
dude, it's tripping me out because if you owed, I could see if you owed a fucking $1 million and digging around it to go by another
it was only
alias.
$242.
You got to be kidding me.
That's it.
That's it for fucking it,
It was
dude.
it
And
was a phone. It was a phone, a landline that I had when I was uh living with my best friend. I think it was.
look,
I can't even remember exactly what it was.
I worked detective a little while ago, but the only thing left I'd have to tell you is that fucking it was bad luck. I don't. Somebody was out to get you at that agency. I mean, no, really, girl. Fuck. I mean, how? You know what
Okay,
could have been like your names, right? Did you ever go by those names? Like sometimes with okay, so you went by those other names. When is I'm trying to piece this together with your names.
I
You
know
said,
you are, Mr. Larry, and I love you for that. Okay, well,
okay,
I'm gonna piece it together for you, sir.
okay,
Okay,
I'll shut up.
number one. Okay, uh, this bill company never existed before
Okay,
when I had the
before
bill. Okay.
there,
Okay.
gotcha.
Number two. Okay. So I got my social security number when I was like 3 or 4. Okay. Because back then you
Okay,
didn't have to get one when you were in the hospital. Okay. Work with me here.
well,
All
yeah,
right.
no problem. I'm
So
sure, but
so me and my brother, we're 14 months apart, but we had the same social security number, but we're one number apart.
oh fuck, what?
Listen to me. Listen to me. Okay, so my mother, when she applied for our social security numbers, okay, and I'm pretty sure it's because our grandparents claimed us on taxes. That's when they started
That's when
like
you started
the
happen to
social
have that. Yeah,
security. Yeah.
yeah, got you.
Okay.
Go.
My mother can never claim us on taxes because she was not who she says she was. My mom was under assumed
We
name.
went over
Okay.
that. Yeah, yeah. Before,
Right.
go ahead.
Okay. You
You
know
can
that.
share that.
Okay. So basically, anyway, so as soon as my mother got our social security numbers, we had phones, we had utilities. One of the reasons why I'm so poverty consciousness crazy is because one of the biggest things is we've had utilities in our names, me and my brother, and they
Because of that
got
the whole time. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So from a very early age, I've been
Mm.
I've had a poverty consciousness on utilities.
No, I think a lot of America has. I hope that nobody reading this or listening ever has.
I
But
don't give a fuck.
no,
One of
no.
my,
I'm
you know
kidding.
what,
What I mean
Larry?
is, no. What I mean is, I hope that for them, I mean, it is because it's fucked up to grow up that way. This is part. This is America that we grew up in, though. You and I too.
Well, I already know. Okay, can anybody though say at this moment in time, my only bill that I have right now is my utility bill. That's
No.
it.
Yeah.
The
Well,
only
yeah.
bill.
Yeah. Nobody that's not making 3 times what we are.
Okay, well there you go. I only have one bill in my life,
Right.
my utility bill.
So what are you telling me? Did you end up paying off Southwestern?
No, I'm
Uh,
still looking at this bill. And I'm like, what the fuck? Who dug this nigga up? It's what I'm
yeah,
thinking.
Southwestern. Didn't we take them out? I thought we took them out and shot them, didn't we? Or I must be mistaken. I thought we.
Southwestern Bell doesn't even exist
That's
anymore.
what I mean. I thought we took them out and shot them and put them out of their
Yeah,
misery.
well, I think it was in,
They merged with some
no,
bullshit,
don't
probably.
quote me on this, but I think it was like 1990, excuse me,
Before the
1990
Senate.
was like the last time that they like had any existence, and then it took them
Okay.
maybe 5 years to
Yeah,
fully
and
go out or to be bought out.
I
Because
get
that's
yeah,
when they
yeah.
started getting, yeah,
That's how
landlines
it goes.
started landlines started disappearing after that.
Sure, sure.
landline.
And they were just a regional company of an offshot company of it. Yeah. And so,
Mm.
yeah, it just made sense, of course. And I'm sure they got bought out by whoever and whatever. And well, if cell
Okay.
phone. But
Okay.
anyway, fuck
Shit.
them. Can we quit talking about them or I'm going to really flip
No,
out?
hold on. I gotta show you something though. Fuck.
Is it from Southwestern Bell? Okay.
Yes, a friend of
Okay.
mine did this a long time ago. It's gonna be cool, but
Okay.
we have to go out here. Oh,
Okay. For you, I'm going to see this. This better be them being shot.
you hush. I'm gonna show you. I'm going
Okay.
out to my front porch. Okay.
Well, isn't her accent charming?
I know it's cold too. I'm gonna show
Yeah.
you how cold it is.
Yeah. We talked about other
Okay,
stuff.
hold on. Here we go. Butter. Oh, oh, God bless
And
America.
then,
It's cold up
well,
here.
fuck you. It's 47 degrees out here. It's colder than a motherfucker. I got the heat up to 90 because
Word.
it's fucking cold, bitch. It's out here on the. It's a cold,
I
not
know.
you,
Okay.
bitch. It's a cold bitch in the
All right.
northwest here. Brr.
All right. So I'm gonna show you something real quick. Okay.
Okay, tell me.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been ready. I was born ready. Oh, where in the hell? Yeah, well, God bless Southwestern fucking.
Do you see that?
Yeah, what the fuck is all that about? Where? Why? Where are we?
Okay,
What are
so
we
that's
transferred somewhere?
this is my front porch, by the way. I'm gonna wave hi. Hi.
Yeah,
That's
but
my
why
front
are they
porch.
there? Why? I'm
Okay, so
confused.
that's bolted to my front porch. Okay, this is my
Gotta
front
be
porch.
kidding.
I'm sitting on. I'm gonna go back inside because it's fucking cold. But I
You
had to
gotta
show you that, and I thought that was funny because a friend of mine, he
Oh,
he like had that forever.
you
Okay,
did. You're showing me a fake scene. Is that really bolted out there? Your shit.
no, it's bolted on my porch.
That's what I'm
He
saying.
fucking he got it himself, okay?
Oh,
And he bolted it to my porch like, oh my God, like 4 years ago,
oh,
roughly.
God, you are.
Okay. And I thought it was funny because I was like, because it's one of those signs from um a phone booth.
Yeah, and it's a sign from spirit too that they were gonna be coming back into your life. No,
I
really,
never
you have that
knew.
kind of sense of
I never
humor,
knew.
did you?
That's why I had to
Playing.
show you because since we were talking about that,
They didn't even
and
do that. Just
I was
wicked.
like, I thought that's stupid. How dare they come after
Yeah,
me?
they let me know you got company. Yeah, you got. Hey, an old blast from the. I would have said, hey sis, an old blast from the past was coming to visit you.
And it's funny because, if you think about
Yeah,
it, I'm kind of like I
there you go.
am God, what do you
A
what
fan
would
of
you call it?
Southwestern
Like an
Bell.
in tune, like, hey, are you there, Carmen San Diego?
What call them up and say that? Yeah, don't you miss those
Whatever.
days?
Whatever, because I'm old
But
school person with,
hey, I'd have to
with
get on there.
landlines and what have you or whatever. So I thought that was funny that he put that on there. And I've had that put on my fucking house, my porch
You know
forever.
what? I would have helped you if I was there. I would have just here. Let me talk to them nicely. I would have got them on the phone and been real sweet with them, and while you were waiting impatiently to get. I'd have been like trying to talk them nicely. That I'd tell them that there'd been a riot in your neighborhood, and
You don't even know. Like I said, I thought I would share
Oh,
that with
man.
you
What
since
kind
we
of
were talking
no?
about
Fuck
fucking
you.
this phone bill that they fucking tried to put me through and
Yeah, what else
blah
did you
blah
try to
blah.
tell them? What else did you try to sell them the bill of goods on to get your bill lessened?
Well, number one, I haven't even acknowledged the bill because as soon as you
Oh,
acknowledge the bill, you have to pay
well, I thought
it.
you said you called those motherfuckers though. Oh, years ago you called them though, right?
No, no, no. Listen, okay. Like I told you, this is how it all started. I was like disputing a whole bunch of other shit on
Oh,
my
other
credit
yeah, I got
report.
that. Yeah, right.
Okay. So, and this is why I was like, whoa, niggas, how the fuck did you even come up with this after I gave you? They've known my information forever. Okay. I've
Yeah.
paid these niggas many a times. Okay. And then all of a sudden, this it shows up in the in my mail, and I open it up, and it's from Portfolio Recoveries,
Oh, Jesus Christ! Is
and
that
it said
the parent company?
Southwestern Bell Telephone.
Oh, fuck.
1998 was when this bill was made. I'm like, where in the world did you find this? Because number one, and I'll tell you why I'm so surprised about it. Okay, because number one, they never existed back in 1998 portfolio recovery. Okay, and
Okay, you don't have that.
the only reason why collection agencies get um passed on, whatever, because people sell the debt.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
okay, so that's how a collection agency gets a debt from someone, because they traded low on the totem pole. Okay.
yeah,
So, but my was this. I was like, they didn't even exist when Southwestern fell. So how in the world? This is why I'm like going, what? Where did this come from? How did
yeah.
they get it? They didn't even exist when my
I
bill
know.
existed.
I know
The
that
the
would be so much
recovery
trickling
people.
out though. Yeah, I know, but they could have sold it to another flunky company, and some kid whose parents owned it or some shit was looking through.
Okay, so
I
that's going
mean,
deep then. That's
yeah, and why?
retarded
That's what
deep.
I'm saying is, but that's where I'm at right now with it. I'm getting deep on it, but I'm trying to figure out why in the fuck they'd be going deep on it. It's for
Okay, well,
240.
not only that, here's the
Dude,
kicker.
even another flunky would call that debt off for you, dude. I mean, they wouldn't.
Larry, yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Here's the kicker. That debt should have already been paid a long time ago,
$242.
just because of the time limit on it.
Oh yeah,
1998, I
yeah,
graduated in
15.
1998 and I'm 45 years old now. You do the math.
It makes no sense. And then to know
Hmm.
that what your name you would go by, then they had to dig a little deeper for that for
I
240.
know.
Dude,
That
either that there's some scary 6-year-old little accountant out there fucking around. Then nothing better to do.
it worried me for like a half a second. And I'm
Yeah,
like, you know what? I'm like, whoa. I mean, if they found something like this, because it's my social security number,
yeah.
is how they found it.
They don't need that though, honey. I'm gonna get we. I don't go with the Social Security paranoid theory too
Right.
much. They
Word.
don't.
Okay. So it goes straight into the whole paradigm of
They
my
know about it.
identity getting stolen.
Hmm.
Hmm. Right.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so if you're gonna dig up something from my um maiden name past when y'all didn't even exist, hmm, that debt should have already been paid. I do
Can
not
you tell
owe
me
this
about?
bill.
Don't you have some motherfucker who's been like stalked? I mean, you got some enemies, don't you? One, I think, or is that
I
taken
had
care of?
frenemies.
Yeah, but there's nobody gonna fuck with your $242, is there, that you know of?
What for that phone
Like
bill?
friends that you know, like yeah, people that you know. I mean, this isn't
Yeah,
nobody you
they
know.
did fucking send it to me.
No,
They
I
made
mean
it
people.
exist
This
by
isn't
going,
even your
"Hey,
friend.
girl,
Your
we
one of
dug
your
this up."
yeah, one of your friends don't work for these places, do they?
I, I didn't even think about that, but no,
Okay,
I
good.
don't.
Yeah, how
No,
would they
I
know
don't
you
even
want it?
know.
It
That has
makes
nothing
sense.
to do with. That has
What on,
nothing to do with this, that, and
ladies
the
and
other thing.
gentlemen?
No,
What is
this
she
was
hiding?
like I said. This bill should have even. This bill should have been erased
Yeah,
because
well,
of the
no
time
shit. I
limit on
get
it.
all that. Yeah, I know. So why in the hell? And then
Mhm.
then you got the trippy part about them finding out your other names you use, and the whole thing gets really
Well,
kind
it's
of.
not about my other names because remember, it's my social security number.
I know,
So
but they dug and they dug and they weaved and they bobbed and they pipped and they
they
popped
did
and turned out.
something. Like I said,
Well,
they
yeah,
did something. And there's something else that happened weird, like too.
it all popped up. They might have had. Dude, they may already have all that in file. If you ever use that name for any motherfucking thing, that could have already been in the file, hon. I mean, it's that deep.
It doesn't matter what name it was under; it should have already been paid and raced off of the face
Uh,
of the earth. That's what that's what threw me for a loop, Larry.
God, I hate
That's what
playing this
threw
with
me
you,
for a
devil.
loop. It's because of the length of
Well,
it, and now that I know now what I
yeah.
didn't know then, okay, I'm like,
Yeah, and it's all of it together. Now, some of it, like one of the three components, I could fucking hey, whatever. Two of
word,
the three, even,
word.
but
That's what I'm
it's
like. You
but it's
guys
all
don't know what the
three.
fuck
Yeah,
you.
the company was out of business. This new company, whatever, might have took it over, whatever. But fucking 20, you're talking about people. You're talking about 27 years, dude. There's no way it would have been past 25. So I mean, this was after
7
2023.
years is the limit that anybody can come after
Yeah,
you for a debt.
yeah,
Okay.
and two
And then
hundred
it
forty-two
doesn't
dollars.
exist anymore.
I
That shit,
I can even see some anal flunky going there with that, even if they found it. And how would they?
that's what I
I,
know. And I
yeah,
was
dude,
like, that's where
seriously.
I'm like, where in the fuck? I was like, that debt doesn't exist anymore. So why the fuck are you telling me that I owe it still? I'm
Yeah,
45
and
years
yet it
old.
could.
That
Yeah,
happened
and
when
yet
I
it
was,
could be. Yeah,
that happened in I was 18 years old in 98.
let's
I'm
get some
45 years
opinions
old
from
and
you,
you're
Bacon
telling me I
Topper.
still owe this bill? Fuck you, bitch.
So, what do you think? You have any? You must have. Yeah, I know you've had to more than anybody sit and think about this. Have you thought about what the hell it could be, though, at all? I mean, I'm sure you've had to think about it. Have you come up with any like thoughts, maybe, or the? I
Um,
mean,
the only thing, of course, I have, because I thought it was super weird.
well,
Um,
no, super is not the word.
beyond super. I mean, I
Yeah,
was like, I had to look at it
double
like
dip,
several
double
times,
dip.
and I'm
Gulp.
like looking at it going,
That's
and
a
my
double
lip
big
going,
gulp
what
wound.
the
Yeah,
fuck is?
yeah,
But the look on my face, I wish I had my own. I could have took a picture of it because when I seen that, I was like, what in the fuck? Okay, it was so
yeah.
super weird. I'm like, how in the world does it even come about? Okay, and like I
So,
said, if I would have known what I know now, I would have been
wait.
like, oh, throw it in the trash or whatever. But since I've been studying everything and everything else, I'm like, whoa, hold up, swolled up.
Yeah.
Who in the world? I was like, what fucking uh, 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 computer identity did you go down? What fucking rabbit hole did you go under?
Yeah, who's got you
Because
on the black web or dark web and somebody
it
talking with
was.
the
It
internet? I
had to
mean,
have been. It
well,
had to have
could
been.
be. I
This is
don't know.
how, it also made me think I'm just that more special.
You know, shit like that scares me more than any even big some big son of a bitch coming to beat my ass in my face, right? But I mean, that kind of shit that I don't know. That doesn't that unknown kind of Twilight Zone trip you, even a strong person like you out? Like fucking dude, what the fuck? Why all of it
It
together?
did. It did.
Yeah,
Not only did that trip me out, but okay, so remember I told you I went to recovery back in October? I went to
yeah,
a recovery retreat.
right.
Okay. So so when you go my whole insurance paid for everything. I didn't have to
Mhm.
worry about paying nothing, what have you.
Right,
Okay.
right. Cool,
Well,
cool.
anyway, so not too long ago, I received a bill in the mail from Arista Recovery.
Okay, good.
And
True.
I opened it up. I'm like, why do I have this? And I opened up and I looked at it. It said $80,000.
For how long were you there? For fuck's sake! God damn, after 80,000, Jesus, what'd you do? Get the deluxe suite for a fucking week?
$80,000. Okay, now listen. Now listen. I wasn't even there. I was there for 3.5 weeks altogether. Okay,
Jesus
and
Christ! Well,
but
that isn't right, man.
here's the kicker.
Mhm.
It was in another girl's name,
Okay.
and it came to my address, my home.
Okay. Yeah. So, and what? No, I
Okay,
mean, what
so
else besides that?
as I'm like looking at it, and I'm going, number one, I'm like, okay, I
Now,
already knew that I was spending $3,300 a day to be there. Okay. But this girl, I knew this girl. Actually, I met her. She was in recovery with me, but she was there before I was, and she was there after I was. So she was
okay.
there longer than I was.
Okay. So let's think about this bill. You said 330 a day, 24 times. 3.5 weeks. What's that? 24 days, really.
$80,000 was the bill.
I'm not that surprised. How nice of a place was it?
Not worth $80 thousand
See, the
dollars.
one I went to was like Club Fed, dude. Man,
Not
it was
worth
quality
$80,000, my
shit.
friend. Not worth
Yeah,
$80,000. That's what pissed me off
okay,
about
so
it.
the one I went to.
There was a lot of things that pissed me off about it. Okay, number one, why in the world was they sending me a bill with somebody else's name on it that had no
Yeah, and
inclination to
there
me?
could have been how
I
many
didn't know
people he
her
could have
from
been there. Did
the
this
only
bitch
reason
live in
why
the
I
same
knew.
town? Chick, sorry.
Huh?
This chick live in the same town that you lived in, even?
No, no.
Oh, this is weird. Okay,
The
now
only
you're getting
reason
what
why I
you're
knew
getting.
her was because we were in treatment together.
Right, no, I
Actually,
get it.
the only
You weren't even in the same town, and how many people? Then I
no,
got, and yeah, that
no.
is weird to get her bill, even
My
if that.
address, my address had nothing to do with this girl. This is
I
what I'm
got
telling
the
you.
yeah, and it wasn't even the same
Okay,
town, so it could have been a male
right.
fucking.
Okay, and
Okay, I
not
got
only
you.
that, it's like I only talked to her maybe a hand. The only reason why we talked to each other that much was because we were in AA together, or
Sure,
we
sure.
we went to the AA meetings.
Yeah.
And that's how I really talked to her. That's how I knew her name. I didn't know her last name, but I knew her name was Brianna. Okay,
Yeah.
that's it.
I get,
And
well, that's
so
no, and then their last name. You can get it, but I mean, I don't,
I had
man, I don't,
no idea what her last name was
yeah, me
whatsoever.
neither. Even though we
Whatsoever.
were
I
close
just
when I
know
was,
that we talked a few times. I knew that we, that's it. We were on the
yeah,
same whatever. Regardless of the fact, like I said, number one, $80,000, and she was there before I was. She was there for like 37 days altogether from beginning to end.
and is it possible? Do you think is it possible that she could have had a different kind of some kind of insurance? I don't know. You were there,
I'm
some
still
kind
trying to
of.
figure it out, Larry, because it doesn't make
Well, it
sense.
still sounds to me like could be an insurance thing, and so you know what I think could. Okay, let's just play devil's advocate. So you got sent that shit, right? And it was fucking total. You didn't live in this town, nothing. But what about if their mailing system fucked up somehow and they just sent? I mean,
Okay, well, like I said, here's the kicker.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
So I started researching because my first thought was, why in the world would this? Why was my address even associated with this girl?
Fucked up in the
My
office.
address, my
Okay,
home address. Why was it even associated with this girl? Because
well,
when you go in there, it's private. They take you to they do everything
get it.
with nobody around, and it's all on the computer, and you sign all this stuff saying da 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 da
I get
with
it.
your own
Yeah.
address and everything else, with nobody else's name associated with
They're
my
careful.
address.
Right. They're fucking careful. I get it. I can vouch for that. They're fucking
Thank
careful.
you.
And the I went
That
to was
that was my that's still my biggest odd. I'm like, how in the world is my address associated with this girl? I don't know her. She don't live here.
Hun, I mean,
My
what
address
about
is not associated with anybody, and that was my
I,
deal. Okay,
now? So did
so
anything come of this?
so here's another thing. Okay, so as I'm researching and trying to figure out why in the world this bill came to me for $80,000, my shit got paid completely because I'm an Indian. I have Indian insurance.
Well, there you go. Then I'm sure she didn't. So there's that. We got that,
Listen,
and
okay,
it could have been
okay.
fuck up.
So here you go. So as I'm researching it, I'm looking at it, and it's called a UMRI or whatever. Okay,
And that is
I looked up what a UMRI was, and it's like it's like a fucking third party administrator or whatever. Um, but and don't even quote me on this, but it's like there are people that handles like their business end of it or
mm-hmm.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They dole
Yes,
out
dear.
aspects or claims to people or to other um
That's how it's
doctors or
run. That's
whatever.
my dear, my dear, my dear. That's how it's run nowadays. You know that, right?
Okay, well, my biggest deal is like I'm still going, wait a minute. Okay, I'm my address and I am Angels Angels. Okay, but how in the world did they associate me to have them send that claim to me?
Did they do it to Angels? Angels? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, they just it
Yeah.
said the
Okay.
girl's
Right.
name and my address. That's it.
That's weird. So you were not okay, and when you were there, you were not roommates with her though, or anything.
Nope. Nope.
Okay. Now that
I
would be a
hardly even talked to the girl.
wouldn't that be a different story? Just out of curiosity, if she was your roommate, maybe a little. Say the
But she
address that.
wasn't.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So we
I
don't.
don't
We
even
can
have
put
to
that
even
in.
entertain that idea, Larry.
That's what I'm saying. We can wipe that off. I'm trying to be a
I
detective.
already have.
We can
Trust me,
wipe that.
I've already wiped out everything that it could possibly have been, even a glitch in the system. And even then, it's like, nigga, okay, even if it was a glitch in the system, why
Right.
in the world was my address associated with this girl? I don't know who she is. I've
I'm
never
trying
met
to.
her.
You know what I'm trying to envision, and I'm not. I'm trying to envision like what could it possibly be? Could it be like you say you're doing some data processing and shit and entering shit, and it could have been a fluke of a going cross referencing an address with
Already
a
went through it. Already went
yeah.
through all that.
No,
There's
okay,
no way.
I
There's
take
no
yeah,
way because number one, like I
right,
said, when you do an intake into treatment or
right,
recovery, you are in a private area with
yep,
one person, you and another person, and they're
right.
entering stuff in the computer.
It's
And
usually a
then
hot chick.
as they
Yep.
enter it in, then you have to sign what they enter in with your finger or whatever. You know how they do the blah blah blah.
Oh,
Okay.
I was getting good treatment. They're like, baby, we're gonna take care of you there. They were like, sweet, I know, and they're really
Right.
private.
So,
Fuck,
like I
yeah.
said, there's no rhyme or reason why this girl's bill should have showed up at my address, and I'm still figuring it out. By the way,
Okay, has anything come of it though? What I'm saying, and you're still kind of probably keeping your eye out for something to maybe more because if there's something to it that's weird, if there's something to it, it's
there
probably not
is
the end.
something to it. There has to be. Come
Right, but
on.
what I'm getting at is, are you probably been thinking about what's to come of it? You know what I mean? What somebody following you, watching you, and you're probably
No,
like, wait for it.
I don't think anything like that. But I mean, I've had a few ideas. Like I told you, I'm Angels, and
Yeah.
my business is classified as holistic healing.
Well,
Okay.
okay, we're getting somewhere. Yep.
Okay, yeah, and what have you. And like I said, I don't advertise for what I do, but and a lot of the stuff that I do is pretty much, if you will,
Maybe it'd
um,
help you to be such a mark, though, if you did. I mean, I'm not even trying to play with you here on that.
well,
Seriously.
I know, Larry, but listen to me. Okay,
Okay.
so my business is based on, if God sends you to me, then He sent you to me. I don't advertise and go, hey, come big neon sign. Come to Angels and get a QHAT quantum healing and get healed with the hands-on healing. I
Can
don't
you
do shit
promise
like
me
that.
one thing, Nolan? Can you promise me one thing that if you ever was to freak out and do that, would you hire me as the guy to say that for your, come on down to Angels and get a. Okay, all right, I'll do it for nothing. Go ahead. Anyway, you're on.
Yes, I sure would.
Okay.
Yes, I sure would hire you to do that. I promise you I would.
Okay.
Hear thee now.
I know. So maybe So you're just kind of waiting for a fucking the butt. You're just waiting for a shoelace to. A shoe ain't gonna drop. You're just waiting for a shoelace to fall out on this whole thing,
Well,
aren't you?
whatever. And that's what I'm saying. I was like, with my business, I've been that type of business. I've been a sole proprietor for um 10 years now. So, and that's why I'm like taking my business into the next level because I'm now learning more about business than I ever did.
And it could
The
be
whole
too. Can you say something might scare you? Little star seeds are being targeted right now because for the first time, and
I've been
people have.
targeted my whole life.
We all have, but I'm serious because they know who we are now. They know about our
Yeah.
community. They do it really in mass. And I'll tell you another
Yeah,
thing is, and
and
you're
that
in
was
the
their
holistic
biggest deal was to keep
angels.
us from going anywhere.
I know, and you just got, honey. I'm just gonna tell you right now, you're everything you're thinking is right, but you just got picked up on a database, girl, because angels, and then you got the holistic thing fucking going on. You just had to put everything just right for them, right? Didn't you? Get on your trail.
Let me tell you something. Okay, so
So,
as I'm going through all my taxes and everything for my business and what have you,
you better,
and I keep paperwork out the wazoo. This is why they
yeah,
hate
you
me.
better. I love you.
Okay,
You
I
better.
do. I absolutely do. This is why they cannot fucking fuck with me because I have all the paperwork and I have then some. That's why they
Yeah,
hate me around
yeah.
here.
Make copies of it. Hey, make
I,
copies of it. You could do this guy that used to work for me, Rick Sweetman. You would have loved it, dude. He fucking the military was always trying to fuck with him about his disability. This guy gave 30 years, and you know what? 3 times he went in there and like, we lost your record, sir. And he's all, well, it's your lucky day. I
mhm,
just so happened to brought a copy of them all for you.
I've heard of that shit. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
why
could
they
do
hate
that.
me around here because, they've
Yeah.
pretty much been on the basis of ignorance around here. And so, and like I said, regardless if I had the chance to deal with it at the time, I still kept all my paperwork because I'm a Virgo. So I'm
Here,
very meticulous.
take it. Good. Take us over and show us where the file cabinets are. Do you keep it on? No, I'm kidding. Do you keep it on disc or both or just? I would. I don't
I
know
have it
anybody.
all on paper.
Yeah, well,
I have
do
it
what you
all
got.
filed.
You can let me just say this. You don't need to go anymore. You can never have enough copies of them.
I know.
And then, yeah,
Trust and
good,
believe
good.
that. I do have copies of them, but I also
Well,
have
you're lucky.
copies of them.
How lucky is the IRS that you have? You're such a sweetheart.
I'm gonna show you how good I am. All right, hold on.
Yeah. So the IRS loves you so much. If they ever want to audit you, I could arrange for that. By the way, I do have family.
You see that?
Hey, for you, look at all those records. It'd be a blessing. Look at yeah. It'd be a night. It'd be a nice day. You could have cookies and tea with them, and fuck, here it is. All they'd be like, yeah,
That's
look at this.
that's my records. That's all my paperwork.
Yeah, that's enough. Yeah, that looks pretty solid. You got them all right there too. Look at that shit. You couldn't have that shit on disc.
Meticulously filed, meticulously done this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and I wouldn't even put them on disc, but what I would sure as hell do is have a few more copies somewhere, and you don't need to tell us where. But I'd
I
hope
do.
that
Don't get that twisted. Trust and believe. All that
they,
shit's copied, and it's actually I got, and I'm gonna tell you this. I got 2 copies on, not disc, but those little
oh yeah,
whatever.
yeah, microfilms, little
Yeah.
MP3, whatever, some little
And
shit
then
and we're good.
I've got all the paperwork copied, and it's sitting in a PO box.
God, what have you been expecting, an audit? God damn, girl,
I
hell
don't
yeah.
give a fuck. I dare a nigga. I dare a nigga to come up.
You
Well,
know,
I'd be like, "What you need?"
you probably are going to get older and bored one day. And you're going to be like, I wish they'd come over. I really wish they'd fucking come over. Right? You'd have coffee for them and fucking
But
shit.
here's
Here,
yeah, and I think so that they've tried to audit me and whatever. And
you
like I
could
said,
charm
I
them
dare
and
a
be
nigga
like,
to
here,
do it.
let me
I have
tell
nothing to
you.
hide, huh?
You could charm them and be like, here's what I did in 1998. Here's what I did in
I
2005.
don't
Look
have
at this
I
shit.
don't have shit back then, but the only thing
You
I
know,
have back from 1998 is that bill that they sent me from
yeah, you could.
Southwest.
I bet you they get a good laugh. After you charm them, they get a good laugh out of that. You could say, hey, there is one bad thing I did do in my life. And you could show that to them. That fucking bill. Here, look at this.
I haven't
Yeah.
even okay, so the thing about it is like I haven't even called and asked him about it because if you call and ask him about it, then it makes the bill real again.
Well, it really does. It does, and you don't know. I could be telling you there could be some flunky fucking.
I
Don't
ain't
call
doing
it. Yeah,
it.
yeah. Don't fucking. I'm doing it, dude. I'm gonna get an intervention going with your son on your ass if you try to call them motherfuckers. Don't
That's
call.
why I haven't called him yet. And I'm like, because I really want to, really bad. I
I bet
really
you do.
want
I can
to.
look at you. I can tell you're foaming at the mouth. It wouldn't take you much. I couldn't
I
go
really
there
want to
provoking you.
call him bad.
Why don't you
I'll be
fucking?
like, where the fuck did you get
You
this
know what?
bill? But
You
if
know
I
what, sis?
did,
Sis,
I would
you're a
be
power. Call them. Fucking call them. You know what? You're toxic again. Why don't you call them motherfuckers? Tell them really what
I would
time it
be
is.
confirming the bill if I did call him. That's the only reason why I haven't called him yet.
Otherwise, would you be? What would you do? Would you tell them what time it was? Literally,
I probably, like I said, I've been waiting. I mean, like I said,
don't
I
do
was like,
that.
I haven't called
Don't
him yet
care.
only because when you call him and confirm it, you know, then you owe the bill again.
Well, I
Okay.
could call. You know what? I could call. You know, what? I can give somebody a verbal hand job. I don't care who it is. I'd say, sir, this is the
Shut
deal,
up,
and we're
Bernie.
wondering. No, I'm serious. I
Verbally.
get to take care of it. Can I have the number? You're not going to give it to me, are you?
What?
The number to
So
call for you.
I will
You just
never
tell
give
me.
you the number, but I will tell you it's portfolio recovery
Well, can you
out of Kansas.
you don't think? Yeah. Do they like resonate
It's
in
a
any other
bill
states?
collector. It's one of them fucking bill
Yeah,
collectors.
I know. I'd love to.
That's who
Okay.
sent it to me.
Will
And
you
I have a
tell me
lot
to
to do with
call
them
them?
because I have a lot to do with them because like I said, I've had some bills that I've owed over the time, but I stay in contact with them because regardless of the fact, I still pay my shit, you know?
You know what,
Um,
hon? I give you a bad time, but you know what? If you stay in a real alternate where you ask me to, what I would tell them, I'd say, guys, I mean, logically, man, I mean, I'd really go there with them. I'd be like, logically, look at this shit. I mean, look how old it is. It's out of business.
I
What?
know I want to,
What I
but
would,
if I
what I would
did, then
fish
I would
out of
owe
them.
the bill
I know,
again.
I know how that
And I'm
goes. It's
not
a
saying I
no.
don't owe the bill. I
Well,
accept it. Sure
yeah,
do, but
that's
it
the
was
thing.
back in 1988. I don't want to owe that bill.
I don't think Oregon's like that. If you call about it and say, look, what have you thought about calling and saying, look, what the fuck is this about?
Okay, well, here's the kicker too.
They
I'm going to tell
Kansas
you
is a
something
lot
else,
like that. Okay.
Larry. I'm going to tell you something else along with all this that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so they found this bill from 1998. Where's all my other bills?
Okay, that's a good thing to admit. So are there other bills? Can you just
I
say, are
guess
there
of
other bills
course
they're
there
calling?
is.
Is there other
It
ones
has
you go
my
for?
social security number. That's what I don't understand.
Are you saying
Where
if you
are
were
they?
doing your
And
flunky,
I'm
there's
not.
bills?
And if anybody hears this or blah blah blah, whatever, I'm not this that and the other thing, whatever.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can't
but if
confirm
they're
nor
gonna
deny
pull
it.
up this bill, I was like, sure, they found this bill. Where? I don't
Yeah.
know. But I'm saying, where's my other bills that I've
I don't know. They may, well, again, here, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate. That company may not have bought out these other companies you owed those other bills at. Those other bills were probably not on a telephone.
That
So that,
doesn't make no sense to me then, because
well, it does.
number one, I know for a fact that I had more than one Southwestern Bell telephone
Get it,
that
but
I
they're different
owed
credit
in
agencies.
my
There's
name.
different reach in here. Help me here.
I've had the same name a few different times, but it's a social security number. Duh. That's what I didn't understand. I was like, "Whoa,
You know
where's
what?
my
With that
other?"
social security number, I think that thing has more to do with it's so weird that you and your brother had one off. And of course, it was a thing of
One
waiting 3 to
number
4 years
off. Yep.
and then waiting 3 to 4 years. Oregon probably hasn't had that law since the Oregon Trail. So, I mean, you wouldn't have been allowed to do that in Oregon. Really, dude, liberal states keep shit more together like that, even though it's
Oh
more
God.
expensive to live in. But the thing is, yeah, and I mean, I don't know, but it is all really weird. See, all of them combined make for really weird situations with your shit.
Yes, I
You know?
know. And like I said, that's what I'm trying to figure out because, you
Yeah.
know, it's like I'm not denying the bill, but I
No,
don't
no,
want
I
to,
get that.
like I said, I don't have any debt. I only have like probably $7,210 in
Yeah,
debt. And
right.
half
Is
of
it
that,
from the
the
household
majority of that
utility?
is in student loans. Like
Okay.
6,000 of that is in student loans.
Is the
That's how
rest in
much
that
debt I
utility
owe.
poverty? And the rest is part of that utility poverty we're talking about, isn't it? Kind of in a way, right?
No, it
You
has
know,
nothing to do with utilities. I pay my utilities, but
yeah,
I'm
but
talking about
20 years
my whole
ago.
debt all overall.
Yeah, and I'm talking from 1998. You were fucking graduating from high school. I mean, back in those days, I
Well,
mean,
yeah, yeah, they added that on there.
yeah, I mean, fuck, dude.
But like I said, if you look at all my credit reports and everything else, um, 6,000 of that is my student loans, and I could probably get that forgiven because that was back in when I got my psychology degree.
They
Um,
probably settle for you for, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Without
I
when
pay,
they probably
and
settle for you for 1,000.
yeah, and that's left over from
Yeah,
$26,000.
yeah. They'd probably, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. If it was a spenny place, maybe
I've already
1,500.
paid up. Yeah, I've already paid over
Even,
$20,000 off of this my student loans.
yeah,
So that's
you might.
actually the biggest thing on my credit report is my $6,000 left in student loans. That's it.
Right, right.
The rest of is like bullshit, like
Well,
silly things that blah blah blah.
somebody, yeah, and it could be somebody might be in for an ass chewing. Whoever fucking did this at a company. I mean, seriously, if the owners found out, I mean, really, this is so atrocious that I can't even believe a corrupt organ. Even the CIA looking into you would be like, "What the fuck are you up to?"
Uh,
I mean, really, I mean,
probably,
they would be like, "What
probably
kind of a fucking bullshit fucking game is?"
only because rainbows and fucking unicorns come out from around here. They're like, why is
I
there
mean,
rainbows and unicorns coming
dude,
down from around there?
dude, I've worked in law. Dude, I know CIA guys, FBI guys. Most of they wouldn't give a fuck, dude. If you brought that for your shit to them, they'd be fucking like, dude, oh, you're gonna fuck with this woman over fuck, dude. They don't.
I'm pretty sure that they've already fucking tried
And they
to.
look you over. Yeah,
They
sure, they
look
look
at
you over
me.
real quick.
They've
Yeah.
sent in their minions. They've sent in the clowns and blah blah blah, and they've tried to research me and try to figure out who I am because I'm sure
Hmm.
I've done things that they don't understand, and I do
Well,
know
here's
this
the deal.
much.
By that going on, though, then it could have got crosswired across the net, and then somebody picked that up and went after you over. These are all things that are possible. But go ahead, yeah.
Well, I mean, regardless if it's possible or not, my biggest deal is like, um, regardless of the fact, um, it's like people trying to figure out who I am because they can't figure me out,
No,
or
you do that to yourself
um,
too.
yeah, and then I do what I do, because it's like I am just who I am. I've raised my children. I have uh, healed. I've done this, that, and the other thing. I ain't nobody. I've got like 20 million titles on the spiritual realm, but they don't do me shit
No, I'm not
on
either,
the
but I put
physical.
myself out there, dude. If you put yourself out there more, dude, you won't be fucked with like that, dude. I mean, I'm like harmless. Either
I've
people think
been,
I'm a
but
hero
here's
because
the
they just
kicker: I've been fucked with anyway, so I didn't even put myself out there, Larry. I've
no, I know,
never.
but
And
it
I've
would
still
say,
been fucked with. I've still been
yeah,
fucked with,
no, you should,
regardless.
yeah, but if you, what I'm getting at is if you get out there more, you won't be fucked with as much.
That's why I told you after we did that first video,
Yep.
I told you I was like, you have to take it down immediately
I know,
And it
and I
wasn't
don't do that typically, but I felt you, and I was like, okay, but I want to know why because it's not something I do typically. I will,
but then
if,
I told you you could put it back up, so.
right, you did right, and I will
Mhm,
because I felt something could happen to you. I will do
mhm.
that in the case, but I
Yeah,
won't just somebody's gonna.
I'll tell you what the whole situation was, okay?
Yeah,
Okay,
go.
so after that happened, okay, it was like immediately like the consciousness of the collective went brrr, boom. And of course, I got landed with the paranoia, the everything else, because they're my kids. Even though I know for a fact in my heart my kids are protected,
I
we're
know it doesn't
protected,
matter. You'll
my
always feel
family's
that. Yeah,
protected, I have nothing to worry about.
right.
And I will
But
say that as the highest accord, I'm like, I dare a nigga.
oh, me
My
too.
son
Me
got
too.
my
Dude,
son got hit by a fucking truck out there on the fucking highway where we lived, and he survived.
yeah.
Don't tell me that my family is not protected.
No, they are. They are. I won't. But you
Mhm.
still, you're going to worry about your kids no matter what.
Of
You know what I'm
course,
saying?
of the highest accord, and
Yeah.
that's what
But
I was telling you, because I knew that even
Mhm.
though that it doesn't matter what we say or what we talk about, and spirit's telling me, girl, no, you need to get out there and you need to really get your shit out there. It's time, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still had that, whole aspect of, you know, my children being protected and what have
I
you.
remember.
And
I
that's why I
remember
was like,
the day.
oh, right. Okay. So I'll tell you what happened. They had to tweak a couple things in that video.
Yeah.
Spirit. Mm-hmm.
Was that
Because
first or
whoever
second
was
one? I think it
watching
was.
it, yeah, whoever was watching it, cool. But whatever. I didn't know the whole logistics. I just know that Spirit's like, have them take it off in this moment in time.
Right.
And blah blah blah. And I told you, I was like, I don't know what it is, and I felt like super sick for like at least 4
Yeah.
hours
And I'm like, okay, all right, I
after
got
that
you.
happened. I was
Yeah.
super sick. I mean, it was bad. It was
Yeah,
bad
I
sick.
believe you. If it would,
That's
if
how
I
I knew.
would,
That's how
yeah,
I knew that somebody had taken the information that I had put in there and was using it against us.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again. You know what though, and I almost think it was the second one we did, or was it the first?
It was
I think
the longest one we ever did together.
that was that second one. Then that was
Regardless, yeah,
the one
right.
you and
Okay.
the last one I did. You did that
Well,
one.
well, put it this way, I totally forgot about it, Larry, until a friend of mine, um, we have been talking. He was like, "Oh, so I saw your interview," and I'm like, "What interview?" He's like, "The one on YouTube." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "The
Um,
one." I was like, "Where did you see it?" And he sent me the link, and it was our interview, and I was like, "Oh, I totally forgot about it." Not forgot about it, but I mean, I didn't know that it was
unforgettable. That's what
available to
Larry
view like
is.
that.
Unforgettable. That's what Larry is. Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I know what you mean, though. I get it because you didn't expect him to be talking about it. I know, and yeah, I realize that
And
I'm
this
not
is a guy
thinking.
I don't even know. This is a guy I don't even know. He was all like, "Oh,
Oh,
I
okay.
was like, what? I saw your interview." And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
That's good. That's more than Yeah, I'm
Because
glad
I can't
somebody.
find it on my YouTube. If he would have sent me the link, I didn't even know where it was.
Oh, well, you got. What boy? I'm getting. This is boy. I'm feeling built up now, man. I'm forgettable and can't find my link and shit. No, but I get what you mean, though. Yeah, and it was the
Yeah.
last one we did, but yeah, it was that last one we did. The first one
Well,
he did in the smaller channel, but yeah, that last one was on here, and I get it what you meant.
okay.
Fucking
Well,
fruitcake.
regardless of the fact, like I said, when that happened, I felt super bad for even telling you that. But my stomach was so I was sick. Okay.
Yeah,
This is how I know that in a different timeline, if you will, okay, they took that information and they ran with it, dot, whatever.
and
Okay.
I appreciate
And
you explaining it to me too. Yeah,
okay, and I'll tell you this much, and I'll tell you, my daughter, she lives in Topeka, and this happened before we did our interview and what have you, but I know it correlates whether people understand about time, space, or whatever.
yeah.
But
Yes, some of me is listening.
okay. Well, my daughter, she lived in an apartment building and she lived on the third floor. Okay. Well,
Above Luca.
there was two stairs down from her, two people passed away.
Okay, like that night or around that time. Yeah.
No, not around the time. Listen to me. Had nothing to do with what we did, but it did. Okay. This happened way before. This happened like over a year ago. Okay.
Yeah.
But my daughter lived on the third floor. Okay. And
Mhm.
her people that lived 2 floors down, there were two people that lived in the apartment 2 floors down from her. Okay.
Okay.
That passed away together. They didn't know why. They didn't know what happened.
Oh,
They
God.
had no idea. They were just both, they passed away together. Two people.
Did we ever find out why?
No.
Okay, really? No, you have an idea, but you don't. Yeah, you don't know. Wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
So fucking. What was in
And my
between? When
daughter lived my let me reiterate this. My daughter lived 2 flights up from them,
straight
okay?
up. Yeah.
And 2 flights below her, 2 people passed away, and I bless their souls every freaking time I think about it because I know in other ways of this, that, and the other thing of why, you know? And that's
What is it?
deep.
So, wow, that's cheap. How did you find out? How guys find out about this?
Well, Caitlin, I mean, at the time she wasn't even living at her apartment all that much. She had a boyfriend, and she
Right.
was
Sure. Sure.
staying with him
Uh huh.
half the time.
Right.
As a matter of fact, I was the one that went over to her apartment and stayed the majority of the time because
Oh,
she
why
didn't
she was
stay
the she
there.
was the, why was she was the man? Yeah.
Because my children
Yeah.
loved themselves and they, paid for their own
Yeah.
way, even though she had a boyfriend that, made 6
Oh, I know.
figures.
Oh my
She
God,
still had
how
her
dare!
own
Can
apartment.
you? Let's go back to the 1950s. How dare I be like, oh dear, she's staying over with some boy. Oh,
Yeah.
she good
She
for her.
hardly
Trust
stayed it,
me,
even though she still
good for
maintained her
her.
apartment, she paid for it,
What
whatever,
a
but she was never there. So
yeah,
I
good
would
for
go
her.
there
Trust
just
living
to get
life.
away
Yeah,
from around here. I would go over there and spend time at my daughter's apartment when she was
yeah. So see how it worked out for everybody though, kind of like that. I mean,
just to
yeah,
get away from around here,
I know
my own
she got to
home.
be with she got to be with her
Yeah,
man. Is there anything better than being young and love like that? And then
I
you got to
know, and not only that, her mom cleaned the house and everything.
yeah, hell, you hell to the yeah, man. And you got to go hang over there, and she got to be
Yeah,
with
so
me.
and
See,
she would
it
go
was
there
a
and get
weird.
ready for work. She would go there and get ready for work and everything else and
Yeah, that's
whatever, and, the
fucking about
first
young
time I ever
people.
did it, she was like, "Oh my god, mom." She's like, "Thank you. I
Yeah.
love you." She was like, "It feels like home now."
She probably felt
Because
like on cloud nine. She got to come home from her man, and then she
yeah,
saw
because
that.
the first time I went over there, I cleaned everything, put everything away, and straightened it up, and did feng shui for her, and and what have you. And of course, I left before she got there. So, but when she got, and she said, "Mom, I walked into my apartment," and she was
Don't
like, "It was so cool."
in the relationship thing, doesn't it seem simpler for her? Do you ever remember? I mean, I know we were young once like that and shit, but it didn't seem. It seems like it was more complicated for us the fucking head games, or was it? Don't you seem these kids are more in tune now with each other, or is there still the same bullshit?
Oh my kids are beyond in tune. I mean, like I said, all of them were gifts to me anyway. So, and I just raised them. I let them help me raise them. um, I didn't interfere with their paths, and I never knew what was going on with their paths. I just knew they were gifts to me, and I just knew I was here, and they chose me to be their mama, and I just let them be. That's why they cool. Where'd you go? Oh, dang it. This is Larry Lockin Live, and he has left the building. Blah, blah. Hello, my friend. Should I sing a song? Doo doo boo boo. Where did you go? Come back, come back. Where'd you go? Okay, so anyway, what should I talk about? I'm going to talk about life. Life, if you spell it backwards, it's called e-file. So if you have to file your taxes, you should e-file them, which is basically life. I know that's dumb, but whatever. Mm, pretty. I need to get a haircut though, for real. Larry, you better fucking hurry up. I'm gonna go to bed. This is the Larry Locken, the crazy Larry Locken show. How dare he uh cease and desist his own show? But whatever. I'm prettier than him anyway.